3 or 4 videos I've got of Sammy Shore.
It's Sammy. 70. Come on, you old fart. I mean, come on. You're just beginning. But welcome to the old farts. It's great, Tony. Your stomach hangs out. You can let you get fat. No one really cares. I mean, I heard you want to get back to your original rate. 8 pounds, 4 ounces. Oh, anyway, thanks for all the job, Tony. Well, everyone loves you. I love you most because you always kept me working. Have a great happy birthday and happy Thanksgiving. I want to be the first entertainer to wish you that. I love you. Hi, Franny. Hey.
So it's like that's super Catskill type comedy.
Yeah, you said he opened for Tony Orlando.
I thought it was Tony Bennett, but maybe it was
Tony Bennett. Okay.
Oh, actually, both
Okay, so one of the Tonys
opened for both of them. Yep.
Legendary comedian, father of Pauly Shore. What do you have to say about your new club opening, Mr. Shore?
Let me just say 2 words about my son, Pauly. I'm sorry. It could have been a lot worse. I could have gave birth to Carrot Top. Yeah. If I knew it was going to turn out like that, I've never climaxed. Shit. What do you bother me for these goddamn stupid interviews? My club is opening this weekend at the East Side Cannery called Sammy Shore's Legends of the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store was the biggest nightclub, starting all the great comedians. You know, all the guys came through there. And I started that whole thing, and now my ex-wife's got it, and she built an empire. And here I am giving this piece of shit interview. But I'm not bitter. I'm bitter because the guy that's doing it with me is a jerk off. He's going into the Navy at 21, and it's going to be his problem. They're probably going to want to join the Navy, and the goddamn ship will sink. They'll blow up the ship knowing that he's on it, because he's a piece of shit like all the rest of them.
How do you feel about
immigration? About immigration? Fine. I think those Jewish people are fine to come into the country.
What do you think about Mexicans?
Well, they take care of the Jewish people.
How's that?
Well, they help them
Clean their houses, mow their lawns.
They're always, there for them.
Wow.
A lot of
hot take 14 years ago. Hot take.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. God bless him.
Ooh, how dare you?
money's gone, stolen. They don't go to them because their partners or their people, their friends, steal from each other. And that's why you can't trust when a Mexican is working in a Jewish house, because you don't know who took the money.
They say the good die young. Is that why you're always an asshole?
Well, you're young and you're going to be dead in about 4 minutes if you keep that up.
But I'm an asshole.
We know you're an asshole.
Is that why you live so long?
Well, no, I've lived 84 years. It's a long time.
We're here at...
Listen, I was thinking about, in all the 84 years that I've been on this earth, what haven't I done that I like to do now?
A black girl.
Just my bucket list. How about ski?
You didn't say a black girl, and he completely just like blew by it.
Ski, you're 84 years. How about ride a Harley?
No, that's too dangerous. Ski is better. You go right into a tree and it's over with. It'd be great. I was skiing in Lake Tahoe recently.
And how was that trip?
It was great. It was great, and I fell. I fell, and the ski instructors came by.
We're here at Gold's Gym in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I was in Lake Tahoe working. What do you think? I'm like you? I don't think you ever had a job in your life.
I have a job.
You idiot. Anyways, so I'm skiing and I fell in the snow, and I was in the snow about 15 or 20 minutes, and the snow started getting yellow. And I said, what is this? I must have peed in my pants or something. And then the two instructor comes by, two blonde blue eyes. Hello, Hans, look, another Jew on the mountain. Let's take him down we'll take him into the emergency room, So they take him to the emergency ward, and I'm lying next to a guy in traction. So I said to him, you a skier? He said, I used to be. I said, when'd you quit? Oh, about halfway down. Oh, yeah. And then the doctor came in and said, oh, Mr. Shaw, I'm Dr. Schleinhammer. I see you had a nasty fall. Soon we'll take off the skis. That's all I want to say. God bless you, and God bless America. And the guy that's taking this video from me, you should shoot him.
Boy, that guy's testy. Jeez.
That is great.
You like the Mexicans? Yeah, they take care of the Jews. Like, wow. When you're that age, you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, like, who are you trying to impress? He's already done everything.
Yep.
Like, who are you trying to impress? Okay, so this is like a 2-minute thing. It says Sammy Shore stand-up, so I'm assuming it's going to be at the in Vegas.
From the Palms Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I started in show business 45 years ago as a ventriloquist. My puppet's dead now. That's how old I am. And that's why I want to talk to you about getting old. And as I look around this room, I've seen younger faces on cash.
You reach a certain age and all of a sudden everything stops. The pain of this. I had to get a hip replacement. And I hear a whole... And I didn't go to one of those fancy Beverly Hills doctors. I went to a guy in Saugus called Hips R Us. Found out I had an irregular heartbeat to go along with my bowels. And a pacemaker. But thank God I got my health.
So after a few weeks, I had my pacemaker and I'm walking along the street in LA and it started to itch. So I started to scratch it. And the lady down the street in an electric wheelchair spun around and went right up against me. I walk into a restaurant, the cell phone goes up, hello.
And I wanted to get my final checkup. I had to go back to the hospital. So they put me on a treadmill. They wire me up with the whole, and I'm on the treadmill. I'm wired up. And the nurse is looking at me, she's taking numbers. She says, excuse me, Mrs. I noticed you got some scars on your hands. Where are they from? Oh, the scars were during the war as a paratrooper. You were a paratrooper? You guys jump out of planes? I said, yeah. And the scars are where the sergeant kept hitting at my hand till I let go. And she laughed, and you make a woman laugh, you got it made. Like, what? Woody Allen's better looking than me? So anyway, so she's walking me out of the hospital. We're going past the rooms and stuff. And I noticed in this one room, there was a guy in there making love to this beautiful nurse. Passed by another room, another guy making love to a beautiful nurse. Passed by a third room, there was a guy there with an inflatable doll. So I said to the nurse, I said, what's with him? He says, he's got Medicare.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, pretty funny dude.
I'd never heard of him until I did some research for this show and learned a little bit about him.
It is kind of wild that, like, he had a legendary career, but you don't really hear anything about him.
No, yeah. And now I've learned, well, I'm sure we'll get into some stuff later, but just knowing that I'm glad that we're focusing on him a little bit because he built the Comedy Store. Yeah.
He started it, and then he lost it. Or gave it away, not lost it.
Well.
Okay, so this next one is, we know this guy, the Weasel.
Oh, God.
I didn't know anything about Pauly Shore back in the day when I'd seen him on MTV as the Weasel. I'm like, this guy, I like him, but he's weird. And then you start digging in deep to find out he is the son of Mitzi Shore and Sammy Shore.
Yep. Very
successful people, which I didn't know that. Like, it's interesting where he kind of made his own career, and I never had heard anything about his parents, which is good on him because he kind of created his own character and did all this other stuff on his own. I'm not saying that the door wasn't open because of who his parents are, but he definitely took advantage of the fact that he's not a A-list actor. He's a goofball, and he made it work. I actually like some of the movies that he's in.
I got no problem with him if he got a leg up because of his parents. I mean, why wouldn't you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, like Son-in-Law is hilarious. You ever seen Son-in-Law?
I haven't seen any of his movies. I remember him from MTV.
Encino Man? You never saw Encino Man? Mm-mm. Oh, we gotta watch that then. Okay.
Buddy, how you doing? What's happening? Dr. Foot, it's me, Dr. Weasel.
Hey, you got a Mr. Lefkowitz here. He's been waiting for half an hour. He's been waiting
All
for
right,
you.
I'm sorry, dude. I was just munching on some serious
He's in a lot of
grindage.
pain, this guy. Take care of him.
Dude, take a chill pill with a nostril chilling. and listen. Okay, he's been waiting for a while. We're gonna take care of him. We're here at a foot doctor. I am a foot doctor. I'm the best foot doctor. If you ever need a foot doctor, call Dr. Weasel. Go.
Yeah, waiting.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I'm waiting. I drove in from the marina. I came all the way here. I fell off my canoe. I sprained my ankle. Look at the ankle. It's all swollen. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Weasel.
Doctor, where's the regular doctor? The doctor that's here. Dr. Bing Bong.
Binga bonga bonga bonga.
Dr. Bing Bong.
Binga bonga bonga bonga.
Where is he? I want someone to take care of my ankle.
Dude, we'll
It's
take care of
swollen.
it, bro. We'll hang, we'll chill, we'll hang
careful.
10. Look at, we'll hang 10, and Motley Crue will hang 10 with us. Motley Crue. And then this might hurt a little, okay, buddy?
What?
Just here.
Well,
Put your...
just don't lift the leg.
Okay,
I got
start.
a bad hip, too.
Okay.
Just, and be careful.
Okay.
Pull it.
what?
Don't pull it.
Okay, just, hey, mellow out, bro.
And it's funny is I don't remember watching this. I might have, and never realized that the guy he's helping is his dad.
Yeah, I would not have known.
I would have had no idea.
But this show is where I know him from because I used to watch it all the time on MTV.
Oh, totally, Pauly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is his shoe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, put it down, shoe. See, dude, he's my assistant. He's taking notes for her. Foot doctor. This is Mr. Lefkowitz. He's had a bad sprain. If you're not up to date with what's going on, dude.
Don't pull the sock. The sock. Watch it. Pull it easy. Take it easy.
Okay,
It's stuck on
so-
the skin.
Ooh, gnarly, Buzz. He's got a lateral collateral. You pulled it right here.
Where,
see?
what does that mean?
You got an inversion sprain.
A what?
And we're gonna have to put a cast on here, honey.
A what?
You have an inversion sprain. You pulled the lateral collateral. Look, tell him. Right here.
Lateral collateral?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Ligaments.
Ligaments? A cast?
You're not supposed to know anything, dude. I'm the doctor. Check it out right now. Blaze of Glory. John Bon Jovi. I'm gonna crack his toe too. How's that feel?
What about my ankle?
Dude, your ankle's already tweaked, man. But look at you got the mycotic nails with the fungus among us.
What are you doing?
Write that down. Here, he's got to write it down. Mycotic nails. He's got the fungus among us. Got to put the little thing in here. Right here, we got to mix it up with a little strudel. And you have a nice little meal once in a while, people. If you want to munch late night, you want a fungus among us with the mycotics. It's happening, man. How's it feel?
It feels terrible. All of a sudden I got a pain in my hip. My hip's starting to bother me a lot here. What is it?
Hold on. Hold on right now. Fungus among us. Here, wait. This will go good right there with the little strudel. You can have it late at night. See that? That's a fungus among us with the board on the side.
Ship ahoy.
Write that down. You see?
Yep.
If the collar's up, you understand, and the neck is...
Like, what's going on with his foot?
I'm
He's
actually
got
surprised.
cotton balls. He's got freaking.
See, I'm surprised you would like this, Derek, because you don't like Seth Rogen, and to me, this is also stoner comedy.
I don't think.
You don't think so?
Was Pauly Shore a stoner? I thought he was more like a surfer,
Okay.
Like-
yeah, you might be right. Yep.
surfer bum type guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Weasel.
tweaked right there. Let me crack it. Okay. How'd that feel?
Good. It feels good.
Okay, wait. Let me get the back. See, if you do this, it flows all the way through to the calcaneus, which is this part right here, which is the thing that when you fell off the boat, you know, your torso.
Swollen right there. Went
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Gotta check out this next video. I want to know if you want to smash it or if they want to trash it. It's only 50 cents a call.
Yeah?
Yeah, 50 cents. That's like 2 quarters. You know, you could put it in a meter. You could put it in.
What about the foot?
Tell us right now. It's Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. See, this is the. Ow. See, now I need the.
So he did his little skits and everything, and then he had videos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
yeah, the
it
skits were
it-
like bumpers between the music videos.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let me share this next one. Let's see here. Okay, so Sammy and Mitzi have a divorce, and he wanted to decrease his alimony payments, and he basically gave her the Comedy Store, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And she was a character in her own right, from what I understand. Where she's from, like, Wisconsin, so she talked like this a lot. I'm from Wisconsin. And it was sort of like Laverne and Shirley type of accent. Like, why would you do that? Come over here. Honey, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it was that type of attitude where it was like, and I heard, like, just from stories and research and videos and everything, that she was a character. But then when I was looking up videos and interviews with her, there's nothing. It's almost like she was comfortable being at the store. She knew what talent was, and she didn't take advantage. She knew what her strengths were, but she wasn't a performer. She wasn't an actor. She wasn't a comedian. She was a business owner.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she knew her place, but she was awfully good at what she did.
And she was frugal, as well. I know you said you have a video about the strike that we're going to watch later, which we'll get into her.
Yes.
Basically being cheap.
Yes. Okay, so Mitzi Shore. This is Pauly Shore's mom. Born Lillian Seidel, 1930, July 25th, April 11th, 2018, was an American comedy club owner who was profound influence of the stand-up comedian industry, also known as the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. Early life, born in Marinette, Wisconsin, to a Jewish parents, Fanny and Morris Seidel. Mitzi grew up in Green Bay, where her father was a traveling salesman. She studied arts at the University of Wisconsin, Madison, but left to marry comedian Sammy Shore in 1950 after meeting him at a summer resort. Could you imagine that? You marry somebody after about 3 or 4 days?
Yep, that's crazy.
That's probably why they got divorced.
Maybe.
So the Comedy Store, Sammy Shore co-founded the Comedy Store in 1972 with Ruby DeLuca. After their divorce in 1974, Mitzi gained full ownership of part of the settlement, reporting to reduce Sammy's alimony payments. She transformed the club into a cornerstone of modern stand-up comedy, nurturing talent like Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Jim Carrey, and others. Sam Kinison. It's unreal. She viewed the club as a college of comedy, initially refused to pay performers, which led to a 6-week strike in 1979, after which she agreed to pay $15 per seat, equivalently $65 for today. Mitzi was a trailblazer, creating a belly room in 1978, a 50-seat space exclusively for female comedians, a bold move in the male-dominated comedy scene. In the 1990s, she introduced specialty nights like Latino, gay and lesbian, black comedies, notable Fat Tuesdays, which become a staple for black comedy. She also founded the Comedy Channel, Inc. in 1982 to sell performance tapes and sued HBO in 1989 over their use of the name The Comedy Channel.
Yep.
Her personal life, Mitzi and Sammy had 4 children: Pauly, actor-comedian, Peter, Scott, and Sandy. She was well known to be have tough love even with Pauly, making him earn his stage time. She faced health challenges, including Parkinson's disease, and died in 2018 at the age of 87 in West Hollywood from an undisclosed neurological disorder. Mitzi's influence celebrated in a documentary called Showtime: The Comedy Store in 2020 and Fat Tuesdays in 2022. And her life inspired the character of Goldie in Showtime's I'm Dying Up Here. Joe Rogan dedicated his 2018 special Strange Times to her, and comedians like Mark Maron and Kathy Griffin hailed her as a pivotal figure. Her net worth was estimated at 20 to 21 million at her death. Mitzi Shore vision and tenacity made the Comedy Store a launching pad for comedy legends, leaving a lasting mark on the industry. If you'd like to details and specifics, comedy careers and controversies, let me know. Yeah, so a very inspiring person. Like I said, there's not very many interviews, so she didn't necessarily like the limelight. She just knew what talent was and tried to get the most out of the talent, even if she was cheap as hell.
Yeah, I mean, no, yeah, she's huge in comedy. I get it. She stole a club from her husband that built it on his talent, and then didn't pay the comedians. So I'm not gonna be all. It's not all going to be wine and roses with her. It's, but
yeah, and again, we can't get her perspective on it, like why she felt that way. You know what I mean? Because it was one of those things where maybe she felt like, well, they come in here and they come in here, do 2 weeks, and then they're gone for 2 months on some sort of special that they're not making money on, even though they came to our club for 2 weeks and basically honed their craft. So I don't know if she looked at it. It was sort of a college for comedians, and you're taking advantage of the fact that we're giving you that education. I don't know.
I don't know. Were they taking cover charges at the Comedy Store to get in there?
Oh, of course they were.
Well,
because I think last time I was there was probably 7-8 years ago, and it was like $20 for the show, and then it was like a 3-drink minimum or 2-drink minimum. So when I went there, it was probably about $50, but they would have a comedian after comedian. Like I sat there and watched 20 comedians in 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I saw Zach Shepard there. I saw Tom Arnold there. Oh. I saw a bunch of different people there.
How many ballpark? How many people can fit in that place? A couple hundred.
I think there's I only went to the smaller. There's multiple rooms. I only went to one of the smaller ones that was right when you walk in the door. But there were some other rooms, and I think there's a bigger room that we're going to see in some of the clips that I never got a chance to go to.
All right.
And I'd heard that somebody like a Dave Chappelle would show up at the Comedy Store and work on new material. How awesome would that be to go pay $20 to a show, and you're just seeing a bunch of different comedians that are, seasoned or they're new or whatever. And Dave Chappelle comes rolling in there and does 20 minutes.
I guess I can see in that case, I guess at that point they were getting paid. But if you're just going in there to kind of spitball ideas in front of an audience,
yeah,
like almost a demo, then I guess I can see why the owner of the place wouldn't want. They're like, yeah, you can have the stage and work your stuff out, but I'm not paying you for it.
Yeah. So it's like we don't know her perspective. All we're getting is they striked in 1979, and that was it. And in this clip right here that you'd sent me, and I'd also seen it myself, where they talk about it, where he talks about being at the Comedy Store, but he also talks about the strike as well.
Her timing was good because that was the height of comedy back then with all those comedians that are listed here.
What was that?
I said her timing was definitely good because it was like the height of stand-up comedy back with Kinnison and all those guys.
Yeah, but it's sort of like the chicken or the egg. Would have Kinnison been as well known as he was if it wasn't for Mitzi? I don't know. Maybe.
I would guess he would have found someplace else to do his act.
Possibly, but we don't know that. We're only assuming. You know what I mean? Who knows? I have no idea. Pauly had hung out with Kinnison, and I have a video where Pauly talks about it.
Oh, cool.
And he met Kinnison, and there was a house that they had owned that was behind the Comedy Store that they would have comedians that didn't have a place to stay would stay at that house. It was kind of like a revolving door. Or it's like, hey, can you come to the Comedy Store and do a couple weeks, and we'll, just stay at the house, and then come, because it was within walking distance at the Comedy Store.
Okay.
So they can have somebody live there. But again, that's another thing where if they're living there rent free, and then they're bitching about not being paid, it's one of those things where it's like,
yeah, well,
it's hard to say.
That brings a different light to it if they're living there rent free.
Because one of the clips he said that they were supposed to pay rent, but he's like, I don't ever remember paying rent. So it was one of those things where it's like you're provide a place to stay, you're giving everything except for food, and then you're complaining about not getting the gate when you're literally having some of the greatest comedians of all time help hone your craft. So like I understand. Sense, then. Yeah, it almost looks like she treated it as a school where it's like you're here to learn your craft because you know what I mean. Like that's the feeling that I got. She treated it kind of like a school. Hey,
in the end, it's like the comedians could have said no.
Exactly, they could have said no.
So that kind of ends my argument. Really, they could have just not worked for free.
Yeah.
I just learned that Pauly Shore is working on a movie where he plays Richard Simmons.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
But I heard that Richard Simmons' estate doesn't necessarily want him to do that.
Yeah, he released a clip from it or a short film showing it, and Richard Simmons is all not happy.
Well, Richard Simmons is dead, but his estate's probably not happy.
His estate,
yeah.
Saying you released it without our okay. I forgot Richard Simmons was dead. Huh. You'd have figured he was a health nut. He would have lived to be like 120.
What was that?
I said I'd forgotten Richard Simmons was dead. You would think with his health nut routine, he would have lived to be like 100 years old.
You would think so. That's why I think a lot of it's bullshit. Like Jack LaLanne, Richard Simmons, some of the other health influencers all died before they were 80. So their health stuff didn't really help them that much.
Meanwhile, some dude in China is like 120 drinking a pint of whiskey a day.
Smoking every freaking
cigarettes.
day. Exactly.
Right.
I think it has a lot to do with genes. I think it's a lot to do with a lot of different things. I don't think it's just one thing.
Yeah, I think it's mostly genetics, like you said, and stress levels throughout your life. I think it's stress that slowly kills you.
Yeah.
Did you have another video to share?
What was that?
Did you have another video to share?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even pull. I'm watching the video.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, I'm like, what's Derek doing over there? There we go.
There we go. Sorry.
I was there. So what happened? Every time I'd come back off the road, I would go to the Comedy Store, and keep working on new material for the Tonight Show, for all the other shows I was doing. So as soon as I'd come out touring with Sammy Davis or whoever I was touring with, as soon as I came off, I'd call the Comedy Store and call in for times. And whenever you went to the Comedy Store, you went to the original room, what they called it, the original room, about 118 people in that room. And you sat. Now, in the meantime, Mitzi had bought another section of that building out. That place used to be Ciro's, a very famous place in Hollywood many years ago. But now a guy named Art LeBeau was running a 50s club in there, and Mitzi bought him out. So she had a 400-seater there, and Rodney Dangerfield would appear there and get the door. Jackie Mason would get the door. If they charged $30 at the door, 400 seats, they made themselves $12,000 for the night, something like that. And she took the drinks and liquor, So it was over 400 seats. So, but that was for those people. When I came off the road one time, I signed up and they said, I walked into the original and I said, "Oh, Tom, you're in the main room." I said, "I'm in the main room." They said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I go over to the main room," and on stage was David Letterman, Jay Leno, Elaine Boozler, Robin Williams, and me, and Jay Leno. That was a night, and I'm on stage and I'm thinking, wow, I feel like I'm back in Vegas in this big room, but I didn't think much of it. And afterward, everybody would go over to a restaurant called Cantor's, and all the comics would hang out. As you know, comics love to hang out till the wee hours.
Cantor's a great, awesome place.
Is it like a watering hole near the comedy store?
It's like a Jewish deli,
but
then they also have like a seating area where a restaurant and everything else. And the who's who of anybody goes to Cantor's. As far as people watching and celebrity watching, just go to Cantor's and you're running into somebody.
Cool.
Yeah. Great food too.
In the morning. But so they were telling stories and everything. And in comes Jay Leno and he's saying, man, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. He said, we filled that room. Maybe it took 5 of us, but we filled that room as much as any headliner done, and we get nothing. This is bullshit. We should be getting paid. Now they start talking about, I'm making money. By the time I'm making 6 figures a year, I'm doing great. But they're my friends, and I'm listening to them. And they decide they're going to have a meeting about a strike. So not about a strike. They were talking about meeting about getting paid. So they go to the meeting, and I go to the meeting because they're my friends. I was home off the road, and all they did, they were arguing and going back and forth. And it was so, if you've ever been in a room with 120 comedians, it was madness, you know. But all they decided at that meeting was they were going to have another meeting. So I go to the second meeting, and it's just as bad. They're all talking. And finally, I had been in the JCs. That's how I met Tim Reed. I was in the Junior Chamber of Commerce. I knew how to conduct a meeting. I knew Robert's Rules of Order and how to chair a meeting. So I got up and I started chairing the meeting. I said, let me get this organized. And I started chairing the meeting. Okay, hold your point. Hold on, Gallagher. Hold on. Jay Leno, Jay, take the floor. Jay, make your point. Okay, let's put that in the form of a motion. And I started organizing them. When you organize those young, brilliant minds, they were a force to be reckoned with. You know, they got organized. And I finally went to Mitzi and I told her the comedians want to get paid. And there was under no circumstances was she ever going to pay the comedians. I begged her. I talked to her. I told her why. One night I went over to her home with Paul Mooney, with George Miller and Tim Thomerson. And we stayed up there for like 6 hours and could not convince her to pay the comedians. Wow. I finally went to her one night. I couldn't sleep all night long. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I had this idea. Let me share my screen real quick.
All right.
Okay, this is Canada. This is what he's talking about. These are the celebrity guests that go there: Jim Carrey, Lana Del Rey, Lena Dunham, Queen Latifah, Ryan Gosling.
Damn, look at that.
Mick Jagger, Sarah Silverman. Yeah, it's the like I said, it's one of those places where. Let's see, it was in Mad Men. It's been in so many different movies and everything else. But yeah, super cool place. And like I said, the food is awesome too.
Fairfax. Huh.
I went to her office in the morning. I said, Mitzi, I got it. You're charging $5 at the door. Charge $6 at the door. Let the comedians have that $1. If 200 people show up, they split $200. If 500 people, they split $500. If 50 people, the comedians of the night split $50. She said, no, they don't deserve to be paid. They're not ready to be paid. Now, that's when
Yeah, the history didn't say anything about Eddie Kansas. I think so, but I'm not 100%. Yeah. He was a stage actor.
I was numb. Because I thought it was about money. If it was about money, we could resolve this issue. It was about control. When you pay the slave, the slave isn't a slave anymore. You know? But that's a terrible analogy. But my point was that I was numb. Now I realized I went back and told the community she's not going to pay. They decided they wanted to go on strike. The last thing I want to do is get involved in a strike. I had $50,000 of work coming up just with Sammy Davis Jr. with about 5 or 6 dates that I was going out on the road with them. Anyhow, long story short, they voted on it. I called Mitzi one more time. I said, please, Mitzi, the comedians want to go on strike. Would you mind paying them? Can I swear on this show?
Yeah, sir. Say whatever you want.
Okay, well, this is her answer. There were all the people at my house. She said, not one red fucking cent. So I said to the comedians, I said, Mitzi's not going to pay. And they all said, strike. That night they went on strike. Now, we had committees. I helped set up committees. Steve Bluestein was in charge of publicity. He got all ABC, NBC, CBS. He got everybody out there, all on that night of the strike. And it became news coast to coast, worldwide, in England and all over, wherever there was comedy rooms. This place, Now I became like Jimmy Hoffa. I really didn't want to do this, and now they voted. The comedian said we should not have all the comedians talking to the media. It will discombobulate our issue. Let's vote for one person. And Dottie Archibald said, I'll let Tom Dreesen do it. I was more like the senior comedian, so I became the spokesperson for them. I thought it would be over, and it would have been over in 24 hours if all the comedians stayed united. 18 comedians, most of the comedians stayed united. 18 comedians, 18 guys and one girl, 19 people crossed the picket line. And because they weren't big names at the time or anything, but when they crossed the picket line, they kept the place open. Had they not done that, it would have been over in 24 hours. But it lasted 8 weeks, and it got ugly, and arguments and fights, and it just really got ugly. And after about 8 weeks, I had just about had it. I turned down all the work with Sammy, and I told Sammy what I was doing. He said, I understand, Tom, it's the right thing to do, but don't worry, you'll have a job with me when this is over. But I'm thinking it's going to be a week or two. I didn't know it was.
Kind of cloud is that where Sammy Davis Jr. was like, yeah, you know, when you're done, come back.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not a bad gig.
Nope.
Going to last forever. And I'm going to digress for a minute. I'm a street guy. I don't have a degree from academia, but I got a doctorate from the streets. I grew up on the streets. When I got into a fight, I've been beat, but once a fight started, I want to win, and I don't quit. In sports, in every sport I ever played, basketball, football, baseball, once the game starts, I want to win. You know, I boxed when I was in the service. Once the fight started, I wanted to win. And that's what was happening here. I wasn't going to give up. And now after about 8 weeks, Screen Actors Guild wanted me to speak to their membership and about this issue, because it was on all the papers and everything. And they asked for the Comedy Store to send over Mitzi's argument, and I would debate them. Me and a guy named Mark Lanau and his wife, Joanne. We represented our side, and a guy named Biff Maynard and Danny Mora represented the Comedy Store. So we got up to debate. And Biff Maynard, God rest his soul, a big tough guy, been in prison, but he was a comedian too. Big tough guy. But anyhow, he got up, and I'm going to try to make this short, but all during the strike, after about 4 weeks into the strike, Mitzi decided that she called me and said, I'll pay you on weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays, but Monday through Thursday and Sunday, I don't pay anything to comedians. Well, I took that offer back to the comedians saying, I would take it. I think it's a great idea. They said, no, anytime you have a cover charge, we think you should pay the comedians anytime they perform. So I said, Mitzi, they want to be paid every time you have a cover charge. In those days, they thought cover charge meant cover the cost of entertainment, and which we found out later it didn't, but nonetheless. So now, while we were on strike, she started paying those who crossed the picket line $25 on Friday night and $25 on Saturday night. Huh. So Biff Maynard gets up, and the first thing he says to this room full of artists, actors, he said, comedians are artists, and artists don't need to be paid for their art. Well, he was talking to a room full of artists. That didn't go over very big.
No.
And then he just was going on and on about comedians shouldn't be paid. I got up and I said, we've been walking this picket line for almost 8 weeks. In the meantime, Mitzi decided to pay on weekends because of our efforts. This man that just got up here worked Friday and Saturday night, and he made $50. Do you know what he did with that $50? Tonight, he went and had dinner at a restaurant, and then he put gas in his car to drive over here and tell you that you shouldn't pay us. You know, so it got like a standing ovation. And afterward, the president of Screen Actors Guild said to me and Biff, we're going to take a full-page ad out in Variety and the Hollywood Reporter telling everybody and actors in our guild not to go to the Comedy Store to honor that picket line because they're not paying you. I go back to the Comedy Store. Everybody's walking the picket line. And as I get out of the car, they're all saying, oh, what happened? I'm telling them what Screen Actors Guild is going to do. Meanwhile, in the driveway by the Comedy Store, if you know the Comedy Store, there's a little driveway there. Mitzi had gotten an injunction that we couldn't picket across that parking, that driveway, she was right. We shouldn't be blocking the driveway. So I see Biff Maynard facing his car east, racing the engine, rom, rom, rom on Sunset Boulevard. And cars are going west, so he can't pull in there yet. And I look, and a couple of the comedians are standing in the driveway, and I holler, get out of there, get out of the driveway, get out. And I hear, car screeching, goes in, and I hear a boom. And he goes to the back of the Comedy Store, and Jay Leno is laying on the ground.
Oh my God.
And the girls start crying and screaming. He hit Jay. He hit Jay. He hit Jay. Now I'm yelling, call an ambulance. We didn't have cell phones in those days, you know. I'm yelling, call an ambulance. But at that point, guys, I am at my breaking point.
How many times have Jay Leno been in car accidents? Because he recently got into one.
See, maybe that's why he's buying up all the cars. He's like, if I own them, they won't run me over. So I'm gonna
it can make a supercar and make sure he's padded.
This is a crazy story what they're going through. I mean, I go back and forth with who I side with, but
yeah,
I don't like that the woman wasn't paying him and being super cheap. I think she's clearing 3-drink minimum, $6 cover, 250 people a day. That's around $5,000, and then you got to figure people are going to go over the 3-drink minimum, so tack another whatever. Let's call it $6,000 a night. She may be clearing if she's getting 250 people in there.
Yeah, but I'll play devil's advocate, and they agreed to it.
Well, that was going to be my next.
And then
comment.
later, you're like, "Oh, I can't agree with it. I need to change it up." Dude, you agreed to it.
Yeah, just don't do your act there. If you don't like what the rules are, go somewhere else.
Okay, so if you're an upcoming comic, okay, and you walk into a place and hoping to get 15 minutes, okay, and in this place that you're trying to get 15 minutes and you're trying to, you know, put material out there and you're trying to hone your craft, and you have Robin Williams, you have some of the greatest comedians of all time literally there. That's not worth anything.
No, yeah, you're right. I can see it that way too. I get it. It just seems like Mitzi Shore was leveraging her power. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not usually a fan of pickets and unions and strikes and stuff like that, but because in the end, like you said, Derek, they could just not agree and go, well, I'll go play somewhere else. But to your point, like when I was younger, if my band back then were like, hey, you're going to be opening for the Rolling Stones, but we're not going to pay you. We'll pay you to get there. You're like, yeah, sure. Because then you get eyes on you.
Yeah.
You know, and then you hopefully build something off of that. So I don't know. I could see both sides really.
I'm just saying this. It's got to be worth something when some of the greatest comedians of all time are there and you can ask them questions and use that knowledge to better your career.
This guy came up with a reasonable solution when he said, well, instead of charging people $5, just charge them $6 and give the buck to the comedians. That seemed reasonable to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have kept people from coming if they had to pay $6 instead of $5.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. But I'm also one of these guys that you agreed to it. It's not like you just all of a sudden, like you were thrown all this information. It's like, wait a minute, whoa. I'm getting screwed here. But no, you agreed to the terms when you decided to do 15 minutes or a half hour or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then you have a wealth of knowledge at your disposal.
It's similar to other industries, even in like football, when a player go, well, I want to renegotiate my contract. Otherwise, I'm not playing. And I always thought that was shitty. I'm like, you're already under contract. You should be
and you agreed to the terms then.
Then you can work. Yeah. If they want to pay you more, they'll pay you more. But you agreed to this. You signed this. So stick with it. I don't think they had contracts at the Comedy Store. But, you know.
No, it was probably a handshake agreement. Mm-hmm. And I completely understand that. But I can look at it both ways, where it's an education for you and you have the wealth of knowledge to be able to tap, and then you're going to bitch. That's all I'm saying.
I think I'm biased because of the ex-wife taking the husband's Comedy Store bit. I kind of have a negative view to begin with on this woman.
Well, he gave it to her, though.
Well, okay. I mean, okay.
But so if Sammy didn't give Mitzi the business, how successful do you think the Comedy Store would have been? Do you think it would have been just as successful? It's hard to say.
I think it would be, because there would be an actual comedian running it. They'd been more successful.
But she was a businesswoman, and she was very successful not being a comedian.
I guess, well, listen, it's an iconic place, so I can't argue that she was successful.
Yeah.
She had it handed to her. And then she gypped all the comedians that she made money off of. So I guess that's a successful businesswoman. Get something for nothing and don't give anybody else your money.
When you have the biggest podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan, crying when Mitzi Shore died, It meant more to him than just a paycheck.
All right.
See what I mean?
That means something. She meant a lot to a lot of people. I don't know much about this other than what I kind of researched a couple days ago to get ready for the show. And again, I may be biased because when I saw poor guy had to give up his club so he could pay less in alimony. I was like, oh, this poor guy. Now,
well, he didn't seem like he was that bitter over it, though.
Happy ending. He wound up marrying a Miss Alabama. She was a dime piece. I saw earlier pictures, and they were married for almost 50 years until his death. So
good for him.
Good for him. That's right.
Well, in that video that we watched, he was just like, and she turned it into a mega place, like an iconic place. So she did all right. I'm just saying is that, like, I look at the world that it's not. Okay. Do you think that if somebody's an artist, do you think that money is the only measurement for somebody's success?
No. Not it shouldn't.
Interesting how you feel it that way, but you don't feel it on the comedian side. Because I feel the same way. I think you having an insane amount of money doesn't make you successful at what you do.
No, I agree with that. But if somebody's making money off of your art, then you should get some of that money. I mean, I've worked in clubs where we knew we were going to pack the place because we were playing a club across the street where we all lived. So everybody in the neighborhood is going to come see us. So we would ask for more money. And the owner invariably would say, yeah, because he knew, based on our past appearances, that he was going to make a shit ton of money in alcohol sales.
So if I wrote a joke and I'm like, man, there's something missing with this joke. Mm-hmm. Hey, Robin, what do you think about this joke? Well, you could do it this way. You could do it this way, or... That's invaluable, dude. Do you think Robin Williams was like, you know what? You owe me a cut of that joke, and you owe me a cut of whatever that you make on that joke. I'm just saying there's a lot of intangibles. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get paid. I'm just saying there's a lot of gray area and there's a lot of intangibles. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, it all goes back to we agree on this. They could have just not performed there. Then there's the end of the problem.
I mean, yeah.
Get over it. But that would be a very quick show if we just said that. So I'm trying to. I'm taking.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
I'm understanding when you posited that question to me, like, do you think money's important for art and blah 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 blah. I had to think about that for a minute and tie it into my own personal experience being a musician and what I expected out of performing someplace where I was going to bring in, or my band was going to bring in a ton of money. It's kind of a, and everybody wins in the end. You got a hopping bar that's packed to the gills. The owners made a ton of money in alcohol, and we've made $400.
But you're going to know that ahead of time. You're not going to come after the fact and be like, oh, we put 200 more things in there. We should get more money. You agreed to that ahead of time.
Yes, true. And it does take performances to prove to the owner that you can bring a crowd in.
Yeah.
So you got to eat it the first time around just to get an opportunity to show what you can do.
It's true.
But you get paid something.
Yeah, you get paid something, but ahead of time. You have that information. That's all.
Yeah, the bar I'm talking about that we played at, we got $150. There was 5 of us in the band for the first show, and then we, in the end, wound up making like $400. And that's part of that, $400 plus free bar tab.
Nice. See, right there. You guys probably drank just as much in alcohol as you would have gotten paid, right?
There's no doubt. I was the sober one in the band. Like, I drank a lot, but the rest of the guys were fucking monsters. By the third set, we were like tripping over each other. And
oh, really?
Oh, it was good times. But it was
that's pretty funny.
I can't take it anymore. 8 weeks of this fucking bullshit, arguing about paying these comedians this minimal amount. I'm at my breaking point. When Biff gets out of that car, I'm going to break his fucking jaw. Now, he was nobody to fool with. He was a big, tough guy. But at that point, I had it. I just had it with all this bullshit. I kneeled down to see how Jay's doing, and he opened one eye, and he winked at me, and he went back like he was out again. I said, you son of a bitch. what happened was he didn't get hit. When the car went by, he hit the car with the side of his hand as hard as he could. Boom, and he fell down. Now he's laying there like he's dead. Now Biff comes running out of the car and everybody's saying, "You hit Jay." He said, "No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You're a son of a..." Now we hear woo, 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 sirens coming, ambulance. Now the ambulance comes and they're going to take Jay away, but Jay didn't want to go. He said, "Oh, I'm okay. I think," but they can't release you. They have to take you to a hospital. Only the hospital can release you. So they haul Jay off in the ambulance. A few moments later, I think it was Argus Hamilton came outside. He said, "Tom, Mitzi wants to talk to you." I went inside. She said, "Let's settle this right now, once and for all." And we got our attorney there, a guy named Ken Browning that Dave Letterman recommended to us. It was his lawyer. And we settled it that night. And the tragedy of that is, and then I'll end this, was after about 3 weeks, the comics were all going back. I gave a farewell speech to all of them and said, "I'm done. I'm finished. I wish you all the best, but I got to go back to work and everything." And we came outside. I had to catch a plane that day. My ex-wife was with me. What was her name again? Oh, yeah, Plaintiff.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you agree, Julio?
What's that? Ex-wife's name is Plaintiff?
Yeah.
But I had an audition to go to. They wanted me to host a show called Real People. I didn't want to do that, but I had to meet with the guy, George Slaughter, and then I had to catch a plane. So as I'm leaving, all these comics are getting around me, talking to me, and one was Steve Lebetkin, a wonderful young comedian that who walked the picket line with us. And they're all trying to talk to me. And my wife kept saying, "We got to go. You got to catch a plane." And Lebetkin said, "Tommy, please don't leave the group. If you leave the group, she'll retaliate." I said, "No, it's in the contract. She can't do that. We put in the contract, anybody who walked the picket line, you can't retaliate against." He said, "Tom, I've called in 3 weeks in a row. She won't give me any time slots." I said, "Steve, she will. She'll give you time slots. Don't worry about it." And he looked so forlorn. And I said to him, "Steve," my wife kept saying, "We got to go." I finally grabbed him by the shoulders. I said, "Steve, I won't go back till you go back. I give you my word. I won't go back till you go back." He said, all right. Now I go and I'm working in Lake Tahoe with Sammy Davis Jr. Another week goes by. Steve Lebetkin called in for time.
All those comics were off, so they're all wanting to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So of course there probably wasn't very many slots because everybody was out of work for weeks.
Right, and then they all came in at once looking for slots, right?
Yeah. So it's like, he's taking it personal. I understand that, but it's just like, bro, everybody that was in that whole pile is also trying to get times and dates and everything.
Kind of did it to themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, and she turned them down. I'm ready to go on stage one night, and Jay Leno calls me in my dressing room. He said, "Tom, Steve Lebetkin committed suicide. He went to the top of the Continental Hyatt House, and he wrote a suicide note. It was next to the Comedy Store, the Continental Hyatt House. He wrote a suicide note. My name is Steve Lebetkin. I used to work at the Comedy."
And you know the Hyatt House, right? Have you heard of it?
That sounds like something that you've mentioned in the past, but I can't recall what it is.
Yeah, it was a rock and roll haven back then.
All right.
I mean, a lot of everybody's who's who went to the Hyatt House, from Janis Joplin to the Doors. Yeah, and it wasn't a classy place. It was just a rock and roll freaking nut house, basically.
Was it, as Obi-Wan Kenobi said, a hive of scum and villainy?
It's possible.
Comedy Store, and he jumped off the top of the building and landed on the ramp next to the Comedy Store. And of course died. And I was, Jay thought I had just gotten off stage. He didn't know I had to go on stage. That was the hardest show I ever had to do in my life that night. Because I started thinking, had I never got involved in this bullshit, this stupid bullshit about paying comedians something, had I not gotten involved, maybe that kid would still be alive. I started putting it on me, but it wasn't anybody's fault. He was forlorn, I'll tell you something strange. Every year on the anniversary of his death for 2 years, everybody thought it was his girlfriend. They laid a dummy on the ramp where he landed with a sign around its neck saying, "My name is Steve Lebetkin. I used to work at the Comedy Store." Jesus. They did it 2 years in a row. A lot of people thought it was his girlfriend. No one knew who was doing it, But in fact, there's a book written about it called "I'm Dying Up Here," which is a double entendre. It's by William Littleseater. It's a double entendre because comedians, when we don't do well, you say, "I died last night," I'm dying up here. And of course, Steve Lebetkin committed suicide. So that's all in the book. Anyhow, that was the end of that story.
Well,
It's
Hold on,
over.
Derek.
I never went back.
Did I hear that they put a doll where the guy landed and put the note, his suicide note, around the doll's neck?
Yeah, it sounded like it. Around Halloween.
It's fucking morbid, man.
Yeah, it's kind of morbid. It's messed up.
Yep.
But I think he
to the Comedy Store for over 40 years. I kept my word to Siva Beckon that I wouldn't go back. But then Mike Binder got a hold of me, one of the comics who was with us in those days. He actually crossed the picket line, but he later came back to apologize and said that he didn't do right, and he wished he would have stayed with us. He was directing and producing the Comedy Store special that I think you guys may have seen. It was
great video.
Yep, that was good. Good talking points there, especially around the strike and stuff like that. So in the end, she wound up paying the comedians $15 per set.
Okay.
Which, if, like you said, there is say 15 comedians in a show, it's $225.
Yeah.
Out of her almost $5,000 or $6,000 take. But it's her business, and it's her right to do that, and it's your right to perform there or not if you're not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Personal responsibility, Derek.
No, I agree with you. Like, I believe that artists should be paid for the work, 100%. But they always do this shit where they sign a contract or they make a handshake agreement and then come back and start crying and bitching and moaning.
Mm-hmm. So I
renegotiate that shit.
It's true, because once you do it for one person, then you set a precedent and you're fucked moving forward.
Yes. So they do that shit. They do that shit now. We've had conversations about this nowadays about the one girl from Disney. Oh, if I'm going to be in a monkey suit the whole time, then I deserve to get paid for it. It's the same shit. You signed a contract, work that contract, and then when it's time to renegotiate, be like, you pay me, motherfucker.
Yep. Or if you're not happy with what they offer you, quit.
Yeah.
Go be a deli clerk at a deli counter somewhere. I don't know. It's
because at that time the improv was open at that time. I think. Yeah, I mean, clubs in New York that were open during that time that have been there forever.
It's not like there's nothing in the Constitution saying that you're entitled to work at the Comedy Store and get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But they wanted the benefit of bouncing ideas off some of the great people and also getting paid for it at the same time.
Yep. So in the end, I think from a moral and ethical point of view, I think she should have paid them. I think it's the right thing to do. But from a legal point of view, it's her business and do what she wants.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talking about Mitzi Shore. Then I got one where Arsenio Hall, Pauly Shore is plugging Encino Man. So he's doing Pauly Shore stuff, the Weasel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll check out this one. It's the Weasel.
What also a lot of people don't know, and you don't fucking know this either, is my mom had some other properties that she owned. Like she owned a place called the Pickle Barrel. A lot of people don't. It was literally across the street. You know. Back in the day, there was the tarot card reading place right across the street from the store.
Yeah.
Well, before that,
on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Before that, it was a place called the Pickle Barrel. So my mom, I'm gonna buy a place. We're just gonna have pickles. And it's
really,
yeah. There's pickles from all over the world. She'd have pickles from Hungary, pickles from Poland. So as a kid, my mom always made me shut up, and she'd stick a pickle in my fucking hand, bro, with like a napkin. She'd get, just shut him up, put a pickle in his hand. So as a kid, I remember I always had a fucking pickle in my hand.
Why does that make you be quiet?
Because I'm eating a pickle in my hand. I mean, in my mouth.
How long, and then what happened to the Pickle Barrel?
It wasn't happening. My daughter fucked it up.
What?
Sandy fucked it up.
How did Sandy?
I think she managed it or something like that.
Sandy had the pickle place was going even when the Comedy Store was going. I don't remember seeing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't remember.
It was an undercover secret like speakeasy pickle place.
No, it was a real pickle. Like customers would come in and buy.
Who would buy a store that just sells pickles?
It seems like a niche product, but okay. I guess if you want a pickle, that's the place to go.
I love pickles. I would probably go there, but like, who would buy it as an investment property? You know what? We're gonna get some pickles, and we're gonna have a store with all the pickles.
pickles. It just didn't do so hot.
Did that building become part of the Comedy Store later on?
No, it was across the street. It was at the tarot card reading place.
Did you own the tarot card reading place?
No.
Just
no,
the pickles.
she just had the pickles, yeah. And then she had Thai Us.
What's that?
Which was
Thai food?
This was before the House of Blues, right across the street from, the store.
Yeah.
There was it was called, I forgot the name of the cool like Hollywood restaurant, but my mom bought it from that. That was like where Ryan O'Neal used to.
And shout out to the Phil Spector did his dirty work over across the street from the Comedy Store.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where House of Blues was, where he picked up that girl and he killed her at the house.
No. Oh,
you remember that?
Yep.
Yep. It's right across the street from the Comedy Store.
Go and all that. My mom bought it, and she started a Thai restaurant, and it was called Thai Us. And she just have Thai food, yeah.
Thai Us, and then next door to Pickles.
Yeah, no, the Thai Us was right after that.
Oh, the Pickles closed.
Yeah.
She transcended from Pickles to Thai.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's your love of Asians.
Yes.
Is it?
Probably. But then also, a lot of people don't know she had a theater in Hollywood on the corner of Las Palmas and Sunset, and she called it the Richard Pryor Theater. Do you remember that?
I do. I didn't know that was hers.
Yes. So she started that, and she had a motel next to that. So she started buying all this shit. And then I'm going to get this hotel for Richard. He's going to work on all his stuff. And yet Richard never went once to it.
To the theater?
Never once. That's how much my mom loved Richard.
So, tell us a Richard story that nobody knows in the house, like, or that.
Well, one morning, I was making my Cheerios downstairs, and he started walking by. Man, sorry, man. I'll see you later, Weasel. And he just took off. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think they had sex, but that's another story.
Did your mother have
I think so,
an affair
yeah.
with Richard?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if it was an affair. I think they probably just humped. She was humping everyone. She was like the Humpty Dance, bro. The Humpty Dance.
Did you have sex with his mom?
No.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I didn't.
So basically, he called his mom a whore.
Yeah. Weird.
Interesting. I never heard that potentially Mitzi had an affair with Richard Pryor.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a bit or no bit.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I brought you on to say you are my son. No, but I don't know that she was having sex with everyone, but she dated comics.
Yeah, I remember one morning, actually a couple mornings, waking up and James Lee Reeves was at the fucking house.
Who?
James Lee Reeves.
I don't know who that is.
He was like the country comedian. He had the curly hair. He had all this shit in a box, almost like Gary Mulder, kind of like that.
No, I remember Ollie Joe Prater.
Yeah.
I don't remember. She didn't do Ollie Joe Prater.
I don't think so. No.
Boy, these guys are.
So did that bother you,
deep.
or did that?
Yeah, they're going like B-side. Some of these people I never heard of before.
B-sides.
B-side comics.
Yeah, it bothered me. Yeah, for sure. It bothered me because they were using her, obviously. You know what I mean? But, she was using them too. So it was like a big use fest, I guess,
Wow.
A use fest.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, so this is him in his full Weasel costume. This is like during his MTV days. He developed the Weasel character, and then this is he's on here promoting one of his movies. Do you remember the Arsenio Hall show?
Oh, sure. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yep.
What's happening? How's the woo house chilling, bud?
You remember that?
So, where's the main camera at? Okay, cool. What's happening, buds? Chilling at your pad.
And I watched an interview with him, and he was talking about his Weasel character, where he's like, the older that I got, it was not as believable. It's like, he's like, I got away with it when I was in my 20s, but he said it kind of grew out because it was like, I'm older. Nobody wants to hear the Weasel when you're 35.
Yeah, the bit got old. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was funny when he was doing it for MTV, and then just after he started doing movies with the Weasel character, you know.
Yeah, it's a very timely act. Like it fit
For
those
that time.
years.
Yeah.
It's
My name is Pauly Shore. Nice to see you. Go. Okay, so do you guys like MTV? You know, I like it a lot too. You know why? Not because like I get to meet like a lot of bands and stuff, but because I get to meet a lot of fresh nut. Is bud. No, it's cool because before I was like, before I wasn't on MTV and stuff, I never got like a lot of chicks, you know? Cause look at me, man. Right? I'm not like, I'm not like the GQ stone individual, right? What I'm saying, right? But it's like, girls, if you were at a club or something and you saw me approach you going, hey, what's up, fresh nut? Check out the I created down below. Wow, that's cool. You throw a cocktail in my face, right? Not have security out, but since, okay, cool. But I don't like want to like meet girls and stuff and get them like pregnant and stuff, because that's all I need. 9 months later, they knock at my front door. Totally, Pauly. I got someone that wants to meet you. Totally, Pauly. Told your kid, I'm told your wife, and you're totally screwed. Okay, that didn't really fly so hard, bud. Okay, cool. But you guys see the MTV Video Music Awards with Arsenio, man? You guys see? Did you guys witness Prince? Was that classic? His cheeks right there, boom. Just cheeks, Right. 23 positions in a one-night stand. Yeah. I'm lucky to get standard, Prince is cool, though. Prince is pretty cool. Do you guys like LL Cool J? I got to meet him. That was cool. Mama said, knock you out, I'm gonna knock you out, I like that one line in his song, Don't Call It a Comeback. I've been here for years. I said that to him. And, I go, dude, I relate to that. He's like, get out of my face. But I got a girlfriend now. Is that cool? I got a girlfriend, bud. That's cool, My mom doesn't really approve of her because she's a porno star. I'm like, Mom, at least she has a job. Most girls in this town are kept up by some old crusty dude, But you know what's cool about going out with the porno stars? I don't have to hide the video camera anymore. I used to have to hide it, buddy. I used to have to, like, ditch it in my closet and go, Bud, chill, I'm gonna get it, chill. Hey, what's up? Cool. Hey, cool. I'd, like, freak, you know what I mean? But she doesn't do it anymore because I told her, if she continued to do it, and, we get involved emotionally, I can't deal with it. So now she does personal appearances, and she signs autographs for her fans. And I was up in Frisco where she was doing it, right? And using the line, this guy comes up, he's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm her boyfriend. He's like, yeah, me too. I'm like, really? I'm her boyfriend and stuff. But, I asked her one thing ago, aren't you scared about, like, getting diseases and stuff? And she's like, aren't you? Okay, well, that's, like, my portion of the show for now. I'll be back soon. Thanks.
Monday through Friday, MTV, 3 to 4:30. That's a new time.
Yeah, the thing is, that was okay for just calling me, buddy. I just
3 to 4:30 is kind of a weird time.
Do stand up and
very strange.
It flew okay, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
But I brought my clogs.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the album?
The album didn't quite go platinum. It went aluminum. The CD, the comedy CD, that's how the future of America and stuff. But, want to let people know I'm a stand-up comedian,
Well, that's important. I appreciate you coming up because I did call him, and he was like,
yeah, it's wild that he grew up where he grew up, and he met all these people, and I never heard any of it until I saw him on MTV acting like the Weasel.
Yeah. Yep.
It's wild when you actually dig in deep. And yes, both of his parents are passed, and him and his family still run the Comedy Store.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So okay.
So they still own it. So I don't know, because I haven't been there in a long time. I don't know how it's doing. If it's as popular as it used to be, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think overall comedy isn't as popular as it used to be. Really, I mean, it's
possibly, but yeah, they still own it and stuff. So yeah, okay. So this clip's almost done.
I'm like working with Warrant right now. I did some shows with them, the rock band Warrant, and he calls me up down in San Diego at the condo where I was spun and roll together for a minute. Then come on up. Thanks, Andy. I'll see you on Monday. Thanks for.
So the weasel.
It's a blast from the past.
Yeah, this one is a little weird. I was trying to figure out why this was happening, but watch the person he's with. It's kind of wild.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. Yep.
How you guys doing today? Nice to see you. My next guest on my show is Bruno. Yay, Bruno. It says right here, you're the world.
That's Bruno Mars.
Amazing.
Look how little he is.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he interviewing Bruno Mars at like 5 years old?
Well, I think because
4 years old.
I think he used to do like Elvis impersonations as a kid.
He was an Elvis impersonator as a little kid.
Pretty sure he had some sort of act like that when he was a little guy. So maybe that's why.
Interesting.
World's youngest Elvis impersonator, and you've been seen on NBC's Inside Report, CBS's Small Talk, and CNN's World News. He's taking Waikiki by storm. Show, huh? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, that's cool. What else can I ask? What do you guys want to ask him? Huh? Oh yeah, can you show some moves? What about the lip? Do the lip thing. Come close on that. Okay, cool.
He looks just like he does
what
now.
About, like,
just like a
couple of
mini
moves
version
real
of him.
quick.
Yeah.
And I worked on a show where he has 3 or 4 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to do a reality show based off of his sisters. All 4 of them are insanely hot. My God.
Really? I may have to do some research after the show.
Yeah. Look up Bruno Mars' sisters. Good Lord, they're hot. The show didn't go anywhere because they were kind of like, their personalities were mid, but they looked awfully good.
Holy shit, you ain't kidding.
Because hello, Elvis Mr. Bruno. Wow, okay.
Look at the hair. Look at the hair.
It's the same hairdo he has now.
These messages
He doesn't.
here on
I don't think he ever changed the haircut for sure.
Yeah, his hair just grew with him.
Is that okay,
as
Bruno?
you know.
Yeah. You having a good time?
Yeah.
Or is it pretty boring, huh?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, there goes my questions. Be right back.
Bruno Mars,
I go like this,
insanely talented guy, by the way. I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge fan.
Yeah, he's insanely talented. This was just awkward. That's why I picked it, because it was just like,
It is awkward. The
when do
kid's
you
got
ask a 4-year-old kid that's an Elvis impersonator?
Okay, you can start.
Hey, Pauly. And I always saw you do the weasel. And now I'm gonna teach you the Elvis. Is that cool, man?
Yeah,
You little fucker.
that's cool, man. You seen me before?
Oh, what a cute little kid.
A lot of time.
God, I'm so flattered. I mean, a big star like you seen me before. That makes me feel real nice, Bruno. Cool, crazy. Okay, so you're gonna show me Elvis? What's the first Elvis move?
What's Pauly wearing? What's going on there?
I have no idea. Like cut off flower jean shorts? I don't know.
What? What else? That's it? Okay. Okay, watch. Let me try. Is that cool? What? What's another one? Michael Jackson, buddy. Okay. Well, that's
He's
it.
4 years old and he can dance better than me.
Dude's killing it, this kid. They must have known, like, this kid's going to be huge someday.
He comes from an entertainment family, right?
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
I think so. Maybe one of the parents was a entertainer.
For me and Bruno, we'll see you next Monday, right? Check him out. What's another one? Michael Jackson, buddy. Okay. Well, that's it for me and Bruno. We'll see you next Monday, right? Check them out, my buds right here. We'll see you next Monday. Actually, I'm going to Daytona. Then I'll be back here. I'm going to Daytona Beach. You know Daytona? You know the girls with the fake cons, bikinis.
That's a 4-year-old kid. You know the ones with the fake cons and the bikinis.
So, yeah, Bruno Mars's parents were entertainers.
Yeah, so it's pretty much inevitable.
And they named him Bruno because when he came out, the father thought he looked like Bruno Sammartino. Isn't that a cool story?
Interesting. Because he looked like Bruno Sammartino. Interesting. Okay, so this is a news clip of when Mitzi Shore died, and they kind of do like a little bit of history type thing, I guess.
You worked your way up the chain until basically what we did, she gave us a place to bomb until we were bomb-proof, okay? And once we were bomb-proof, you couldn't stop us.
Argus Hamilton, the host comedian at the legendary Comedy Store, says he's one of hundreds who owes his career to Mitzi Shore. The owner and founder of the club passed away Wednesday morning at 87.
There was one comedian that really got dejected after about a year of really hard work. And he was going to go back home to Indianapolis and be the weathercaster again, David Letterman. And Mitzi begged and pleaded and did everything she could to get David to stay, to convince him that he was the next Johnny Carson.
Besides Letterman, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, and Roseanne Barr also got their start at the Comedy Store. Barr tweeting, "You will always be with us. We will always be with you. Thank you, genius. We all love you so much forever." Jim Carrey also tweeting, "No words can express the gratitude I have for her. We met in 1979. She opened the door to my dreams."
She called me one night. She said, "You're in the main room and you're performing with Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy."
Comedian
he was great in Living Color, and then after that he didn't really do much.
Yep.
Tommy Davidson.
That's all I remember him from.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Tommy Davidson from In Living Color heard the news and headed straight to the place on the Sunset Strip where his career began.
I owe her a lifetime of professional stand-up comedy because she took a chance on me.
Shore being remembered for the work she did to support female comics, opening up the Belly Room to showcase their talents. Big names and small names thanking her.
Just to say thank you to Mitzi for everything she's done for comics, and she gave us a home, and it's especially for a female comic, it means a lot. Even before I decided I wanted to be a comedian, I knew what the Comedy Store was, and I knew who she was, and I looked up to her.
Hopefully one day they'll be funny. Oh, boom, oh.
Hi-oh. Well, everybody universally loves her, so there you go. That's proof's in the pudding. If everybody remembers her fondly, she must have been a good person.
I'm just saying that if they had a hatred for her and the whole thing about her not paying really resonated with them, then they'd just be like, fuck that lady.
Yep.
But it doesn't seem like most of them don't.
No.
They have a fondness for her. Because she was quirky, but she was smart.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been interesting just to meet her. You know what I mean?
She's probably has more stories than anybody else on the planet. With all the people she's met and been friends with and stuff.
But, yeah, so this is the last video that I have. And we had played this one on the very first live stream that we did on the channel. We did this one where Tom Wilson from Back to the Future lore, he played Biff Tannen in Back to the Future, started at the Comedy Store.
Yep.
And he's telling a story of about him being there and certain things that happened during that time. So this is the last video that we're going to play. But there's so much more stuff that I wish that was available to play, but unfortunately, pretty much you have to take what you're given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I would love to learn all the behind the scenes stuff that you don't really hear too much about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we can always, you never know, down the road, maybe revisit some of these comedians, deep dives. Who knows?
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're gonna play this one. This is the last one, and then yeah.
Hey, Derek, real quick. Do you have your Dum Dum trailer or intro ready?
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm like 21 years old, just moved to LA, got a job here at the Comedy Store in the Sunset Strip doing stand-up. Little did I know I'd be in the main room of the Comedy Store working with Richard Pryor,
I have a bonus
who at that time was working on Live on the Sunset Strip.
I
and all of his
so that I
stand-up
can
comedy
have space to maneuver. I don't have it up.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, Argus Hamilton, ladies.
How are you? You look great. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
How you been?
Argus Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. Historic Comedy Store comedian. I'm just trying to tell some stories about the store. I was talking about when James and Rashawn, Pryor's bodyguards, threw a guy. I saw them throw a guy from the top of those stairs. Yeah. They, the guy had just.
I'll tell you a better one on Tom. Here,
wait a minute.
Wait a minute. No, one night Sam Kinison and another comedian were throwing their bodyguards at each other, snorting coke, saying, "Get him, get him, get him!" And Tom, on stage in the main room, politely asked everyone to keep it quiet backstage. I'm killing a crowd out here. Sam Kinison got up into Tom's face and said, "I'm gonna get you! You don't want me mad at you! You don't want me mad at you!" And Tom says, "I'm right here, Sam, whatever you want to do." "You don't want me mad at you! You don't want me mad at you!" "I'm right here, Sam, what do you want to do about it?" "You're gonna regret this." and nobody took him seriously again. He absolutely broke a bully in two. He was our hero ever since.
That's good to see you, buddy. And one time after a show here in the main room, a guy from the audience just came right through. Nobody stopped him or anything. The guy was pretty drunk. It's Richard Pryor, about 3 comedians around in this kind of a circle. The drunk guy, "Oh, Richard Pryor, big shot, big comedian, huh?" So everyone, of course, gets nervous, right? Richard Pryor just goes, "Rashawn," calling his bodyguard, boom, 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 from somewhere in the back, we don't know, just picks him up by the back of his belt and his shirt, lifts him off the ground. The guy's going, "Oh!" Throws him from the top of the steps over here, about 5 feet into that door, smashes into the doors. The guy keeps flying 5 feet, smashes into the pavement right here, and rolls into Sunset Boulevard. I learned at a very early age, don't mess with Richard Pryor or his bodyguards. Or Argus Hamilton.
He's got a lot of good stories, that guy. We've watched that other video from him.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was like the main one. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me switch it over to 2, and I'll find that other one. Honestly, I thought it was that one, but he has other ones apparently. Let me search it. Comedy Store. Oh, okay. Here's the other one. He had the other one. All right.
So back here is where I met John Belushi. It was 1981. I was newly here, new comic, and he was coming in here every night, staying at the Chateau Marmont Hotel, about 2 or 3 blocks down there.
So 1981. So this was a couple years after they struck and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't part of the whole striking thing. So he was getting paid by this time.
Yep.
I was back here one night. He comes weaving in. wasted. Went to sit in the steps back here. We had talked a few nights, so I felt like, hey, I'm getting to talk to John Belushi at the Comedy Store. Everything was special. This night he was
See, that's the thing is I have never seen any clips of him actually performing at the Comedy Store.
Other
Have
than
you
that,
ever seen?
No, I don't know where that song he did that we played that you got struck for. That might have been at the Comedy Store, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm talking about John Belushi.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Tom Wilson. Oh, I don't recall seeing him do stand up. To be honest, I just know him from Saturday Night Live and
Unless
his
he
movies.
was just there because he knew people.
Mhm.
And obviously he was part of Saturday Night Live, but I've never seen any clips of him doing stand up, nothing. So he might have been there just because there was friends there.
Well, plus Saturday Night Live was New York based, so he probably during that run he probably would be hanging out in New York, I would think, when he was on.
So.
But who knows?
Yeah.
really out of it. So he sat on the steps that lead up to the belly room over here. Calls me over to him. So I go, hey, John, how's it going tonight? He goes, where am I? I go, at the Comedy Store, John. He goes, have I been here before? I say, you mean tonight? Have you been here before tonight? Because you've been here a bunch this week, but tonight you haven't been here yet. Tonight. So, oh, okay. Keeps sitting there, pulling out rumpled pieces of paper, phone numbers, dropping them. He looked ashen and terrible. Just then, Richard Pryor walked in the room for his sets that he was doing that night. Came into the room, saw John sitting on the steps, saw me there, walked over to us. Now, I got to admit, I didn't exactly move away because, I mean, I'm thinking, I'm hanging out in the back of the Comedy Store with Richard Pryor and John Belushi. Richard took out a clean handkerchief, ironed, unfolded the handkerchief, and placed it on the step next to John Belushi so he wouldn't soil his nice slacks. Sat down next to John Belushi and looked at me, which I took to mean I would like to speak to John. Yeah. So it was right back here, right back through those doors. There's a staircase that goes there where Richard Pryor and John Belushi whispered to each other for a while. And after about a half an hour, John Belushi got up from those steps, walked out those doors, out here, down Sunset Boulevard, and that night, he died at the Chateau Marmont Hotel. I woke up in the morning, turned on the TV to see that big body bag being rolled out a couple blocks down from there. And I've always carried a souvenir with me because when he walked away from John Belushi, Richard Pryor left his handkerchief, which I've kept for 28 years now. I always felt bad that I didn't get him back his handkerchief, but I took it as a cautionary flag, a flag of surrender. But here's to you, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Belushi. God bless you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like people that you look up to, they always say you don't meet your heroes.
Yeah,
because they're not what you think they are.
Yeah, people put too many expectations on the people they look up to because they're just people in the end.